the illusion is real. We have actually left Gamescom and we're in a very tidy, cozy, wonderful bedroom. No, actually not. We're still in Gamescom, still at the Square Enix booth, and this is actually a really... how long did it take you guys to actually fix this up?
It's really thanks to Square Enix, our publisher, is their team that made this happen. They recreated really Chloe's room inside the Gamescom. That's crazy. And when we arrived, we just scribbled things over the walls.
Excellent. Well, we're here to talk about Life is Strange, your big new surprise game. It's, I sat and watched the presentation yesterday and I was just gobsmacked by it. Can you just give us a brief overview about what Life is Strange is?
So Life is Strange is a modern adventure game which tells the story of Maxine Caulfield. Max is a senior high school student that just came back to her hometown of Arcadia Bay in Oregon to study photography. She's a very shy person which prefers to stay behind the camera. And she will be reunited with Chloe, her former childhood best friend, which she hasn't seen for 5 years. And during this period, Chloe has lost her dad and she's become a very rebellious teenager, overwhelmed with grief. And together, Max and Chloe, they will investigate the disappearance of a missing student, Rachel Amber. Everyone in the city thinks that Rachel has simply run away, but Chloe really thinks that there is much more to the story than meets the eye. And so Life is Strange is an adventure game that favors storytelling and character developments over intricate puzzles, but there is a twist. Max, the heroine, has the power to rewind time a few seconds at any moment, and with this power she will be facing some tough choice, because every choice she's making will have consequences later, and she will have this hard task to decide what will be wrong or right. And not everything will be right and wrong. There is a lot of shades of grey.
You're saying about that with the storyline. As far as I understood from the presentation, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's 5 episodes in about 2 hours each, and they'll be released digitally.
Yes, that's it. It's a 5 episode, around 2 hours all through, but some players might play a bit longer, because if you delve into the world and go to look at every interaction and use your rewind power a lot, it can go to 3 hours maybe for an episode. And we don't have a release date planned yet, but we know that we will have a steady rhythm release between each episode, something a few weeks, just over a month between each episode.
Now, this is slightly different from your last project. When did the idea for this come about?
At Dontnod, we really like to explore different ideas. We've made an action-adventure game with our first project, and that's something we love. But we are also huge fans of other sorts of games, and it was right when we were finishing working on Remember Me. We have some smaller team dedicated to think to other projects, and that was the memory remixes in Remember Me. We are dealing with already a bit with rewind and memories, and we thought that okay, maybe we could try to explore some of these ideas, but in a brand new, different project. And then we started working on the story, on the characters, and we knew that we wanted to tell this coming-of-age story. And things started to work on top of that. And we decided of our characters. We thought that, okay, a teenage story might be the best setting for those choices and consequences, because this is the period of your life when you are really deciding who you will be later as an adult, and having the rewind power on top of that really adds for a great storytelling tool, because you can change everything. You can always try another option, but in the end there is no right choices, because when you have the short-term consequences of a choice, you will say, oh right, I made the right decision. But 1 day or 2 days later, it comes back at you, and you think, oh no, I should have done something different. And with the rewind, you won't be able in 2 days to change what you did before. So really, we are putting the player into the position to decide, should I change things, or should I maybe just accept fate at some points and grow up and become an adult?
Talk to us about the art style, because it's a beautiful looking game. It's got that sort of realism, but almost like a very artistic interpretation of real life. How did this come about?
The idea really was that since we're dealing with this coming-of-age story, and there is this nostalgic feeling with the game, we didn't want an over-realistic rendering. So we decided to go for what we call an impressionistic rendering, having the game looking like animated concept art. So that's why we hand-painted every textures, and to us it's really a good way to allow the player to put some of his own interpretation into the visuals. When everything is overly detailed, you don't have any more room for imagination, you just see everything. And I think that with a stylized rendering, with this kind of soft colors and beautiful lighting, you can really put some of your own experience as a player in what you are looking at. And it also allows us to focus on what is important for the story and to put the lighting where we really want the player to look at. And so we won't lose the player into too many details and too many smaller grain of the textures.
What formats is this game going to be coming out on?
You mean on which platform?
Which platforms?
Yes, it's coming for PS4, PS3, Xbox One, Xbox 360 and PC.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Now, with just one final thing then, you're here, we're going to be wrapping up in a few hours, you head back to the office. What's the immediate future for you guys? What have you got to do at the moment?
A lot of work to continue working on the episode, because we're working on episode 1 but also on episode 2, 3 in order to be able to have this steady release I was talking about. So right now we are going to maybe have a few beers tonight and to celebrate the end of the Gamescom and go back to work starting Monday.
And with that then, because you said you're not going to release the first episode until you know you'll have that structure to it, so is it an idea of polishing all 5 episodes to the point that you know, all right, we will have that deadline, we can make that deadline?
Yes, I can't talk about release date because obviously it's something that needs to be decided with Square, but we know that the way we are working, when we will release episode 1, we will be sure that we will have all the 5 episodes in the good delay, with the good rhythm between each episode.
Listen, thank you very much indeed for talking to us.
Thank you very much, thanks a lot.